Okay. So the goal for the cheat sheet, good morning, is that we put everything you need to know for your test in one spot. You can use your journal on your test. I still see quite a few computers open. Go ahead and close those. Go ahead and put your phones away. I don't want to see them. Okay. So for the cheat sheet, I gave you a list of everything you need to know. Let me show you. Yeah, that can leave. If you go to the cheat sheet, this is just a quick outline. This is what you need to know. You need to know all of these things. So we're going to break it down step by step. Now I'm going to tell you straight up, I will not tell you the answer. I'm going to be pulling it out of you. If you don't know the answer, I'm going to leave it blank, and you guys are going to not know the answer for that. All of the things I'm asking you, we've done in previous notes. So you got to pay attention, you got to participate. Okay, so the first thing we're going to go over is graphing. If I have the equation what's my first thing I need to graph? What's the first thing I need to find? Now, if you guys need to rearrange yourself at your tables or your desks so you can see, because I know some of you are backwards, I do not care if you move, if you change seats for notes. That's fine if we can open the blinds. Will you pull the string on the blinds? No? We can't pull the string on the blinds? I'll wait. Moses, can you grab the blinds, please? Sam, can you grab 2 blinds? Alan, can you grab 2? Just pull the string. Okay, quick reminder, we need to find the vertex first. How do I find the vertex? There's a formula. If you need to know where to look in your notes, nope. You're going to be looking at this. This is going to be the notes that has it. Okay, that's standard form. That's going to tell me what my A, B, and C is. Yes. How do I figure out what the Y is? Opposite of B. If it was a negative B, you change it to a positive. If it was a positive, you change it to a negative. So you flip the sign, no matter what. How do we figure out what the Y coordinate is? Pardon? Put in the X for the Y, yeah. So right here, just plug in X and solve for Y. Moses, what's my B? Manny, help him out. What's our B? Diego, can you help him? Thank you. Manny or Moses, can you tell me what our A is? Yeah, the 2. It always goes in alphabetical order. A, B, C. Jonathan, can you put your phone away? Thank you. Adonai, can you simplify either the top or the bottom? I don't care which side you do, but give me one number for the top or one number for the bottom.
Bottom 4.
Good. Sam, what's the top? Good. Richard, what's -8 divided by 4? Johnny, what is that -2? Of what? Is it a special x? Or is it just any old x? To find what? What are we trying to find? Yeah. So when we're trying to find our vertex, so far we know -2. Alan, how do I figure out the y coordinate? Plug it in. So we're going to take this equation, and instead of x's, we're going to use... Yep. Alan, can you help me set that up? What am I going to put here? Good. Tell me what to write down. I can't hear you. Okay, so we're just writing down this equation, but instead of x, every single time we're going to use -2. So what are we going to write down? 2, and then instead of x, what are we going to use? Don't forget the squared. And then what are we going to write down? Instead of x, what are we going to use? Good. I don't know if you're talking, but I need you to tell me the last thing. +5. It's super important that you use parentheses on everything. Your calculator will not know that just the -2 is squared unless you put it in parentheses. You've got to do that. Your calculator won't know to do -2 times -2 unless you tell it to. You have to put it in parentheses. Silas, help me simplify. What's -2 squared? Nope. What's -2 times -2? Oh. Jonathan, 8 times -2? Good. Christian? Alan? What do you want to put together? You can do the 8 and the 16 and the 5, the 8 and the 5. Doesn't matter. 8 and 5, what's 8 plus 5? Yep. Roland, 13 take away 16? -3. Victoria, what do I do with that -3? What is that -3? An X, a Y? It's a Y. Is it a special Y? It's the Y coordinate for what special point on the graph? The vertex, yeah. That was a really like little kid 3, sorry. Don't ask me why. Now that I have the vertex, hey Terrell, good morning. We're taking notes for our test tomorrow, so you're gonna wanna just jump in where we are and get caught up, okay? Now that we have our vertex, right? So here's our vertex. If this was my notes, I mean, this is my notes, but if this was me taking this test, I'd be highlighting stuff I have to find. Vertex. Okay, next I'm gonna make, how do we find the table? Okay, so this is our table of values. Is that right? I feel like it's LE. Table, or is it table? That looks better. I can't spell. I can do math, but spelling and we struggle. Oh, don't really care, but I don't want to make you guys get bad at it like me. All right, you guys. Where does the vertex go? Silas, get off your phone. Where does that vertex go? We have this coordinate. Where does it go in the table? In the middle. We're always going to put the vertex in the middle. How do I pick my x values? Anybody? Raul, can you help us? How do we pick the x values? Do you remember?
-1. 0.
That's right.
3, -4.
How are you figuring that out, Hiram?
That's how you taught us.
Yeah, you just count up and down by 1 each. So we're going down 1, down another 1, up another 1. It's just like a number line. You want to have 5 numbers that are in a row, and you center it wherever your vertex is. Now, we do not have all day to plug in these numbers to figure them out, but theoretically, how would I figure out, how would I plug in -4 to get the y value? Yeah, so it would be like this. And I'm going to tell you right now, is it okay if I just go fast on that? Like you don't have to write this part down? Yeah. Baby, do you need a tissue?
No, that's fine. I'm good.
His poor face. Can you imagine using a paper towel on your face? That hurts, man. So I'm getting -32. I'm getting 32, take away 32. So I'm getting 5. If this one's 5, what's this one going to be?
5.
Easy way to check? It's 0. Anything with an x is going to go away. That's going to be 0. That's going to be 0. What's the only thing left?
5.
That's easy. So I still need to see on your work though. So you're just going to do like 0 squared. Lost my paper. Gone, 5. Easy. Do you guys want to, is 3 or 1 an easier number to work with? Then pick 1. What's -1 squared? What's 8 times -1? What's 2 times 1? What's -8 plus 5? Good. What's 2 take away 3? These are going to be the same. These are going to be the same. If they're not the same, check your math. You did something wrong. That is why I taught you to center it at the vertex. I'm going to throw in -3 real quick just so that you have it in your notes. -3 squared. What's -3 times -3?
9.
Let's roll. What's 8 times -3? -24. What's 2 times 9?
18.
What's 18 plus 5? Yes, I'm changing the order. The order in addition doesn't matter. What's 18 plus 5?
23.
What's 23? Take away 24. Did we get the same answer? Yes, we did. If we get a different answer, we know we messed up. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you straight up. These graphing questions, there's going to be 2 of them on your test. They're about half the points on your test because look how much work there is. You have to be able to do showing me where the vertex is. I want to see the formula. I want to see you plug it in. I want to see you evaluate. I want to see you plug it in to get the y. I want to see you set up your table. I want to see you evaluate and get all your different values. Now that we have this darn table, what do we do with it? What's the whole point of having that table?
You chart it.
You what? You chart it, okay. I thought you said retarded, and I was like, excuse me? Try again. Yeah, we're just gonna put it on. Now, I'm gonna show you your test for like a hot second. You ready for this? Now, I should tell you there's like 25 different versions, so. If it doesn't fit on your graph, you did it wrong. This automatically makes the graph fit whatever your equation is. You follow? Okay, on my graph, I'm just gonna throw a graph together real quick. It is not gonna be perfect, and I don't care. Basically, everything's negative on the x-axis, and a little bit of negative and a little bit of positive, so this is my beautiful graph. You guys are in Algebra 2. And yet, I know that some of you are going to be like, this is too easy, why are you going over it? And some of you are going to be like, we don't know what you're doing. Okay, so I know that we have a lot of discrepancies in here on where we're at. So let's just be kind and show everyone how to do it. Left or right for the -2? Okay, so remember, x is on the x-axis. It's going to be labeled for you. So we're going to go left twice. So this is where I'm at. Then what do I do with that -3? Up or down? Down 3. -1, -1. Up, down, left, or right? Someone who knows? Help out the people who don't. Left 1, down 1. Good. What about this? -3, -1? We're on that one. Left 3, down 1. Yeah. You did a good job for the vertex. Sorry that I have chubby finger and it's hard to point. Okay. Help me with 0, 5. Where do I go for 0? It's going to be on the line, yeah. I'm going to go up to 5. Now I'm just counting these lines as 2s. Okay. And then -4, 5, so left 4, and then up 5. Things I'm looking for on the graph. Do you have your points? Is the graph a curve? Not a V. A V is an absolute value graph. This has to have a U shape. I'm also looking for arrows. The arrows mean that your graph continues on forever. If you don't have arrows, your graph is not complete. So let's say you get, that you get on this graph and you have no idea how to do any of this. If you just draw a U with arrows, you'd still get like 5 out of 25. You'd still get some points. Does that make sense? The fact that you know that it's going to be a U shape and that it has arrows, some points. All of this work where you're showing me how to plug it in, that's like, I think that I made it this 10 points. This is like 5 points. And finding the vertex is, I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. I just remember each question is like 25 points because it's a lot of steps. Follow me? Okay. That is it on the graphing. Let's do some easy stuff. What's this called? Okay, solving with square roots. The first big question is when. I want to show you. So if we look over here, right, this is the review we did as a game. I want to show you when we did square root. Okay, can you see it's m squared equals 81? That was a setup for square root automatically. X squared, set up for square root. Is there any other square roots on this one? What I want you to notice is you're going to use the square root when there's no middle term. So see how here there's a middle term where you have two different groups of letters? One you have a b squared, one you have a 4b. When you have both of those, you have to use factoring or quadratic. But if you only have one group with a letter, then square root's going to be best. It's this one. So you're going to use this when b equals 0, or you can think of it as only have x squared, no x's. You can't see what I'm writing. So let's do a couple examples of that. Pick any number in the whole world you like.
7. China.
7. China is not a number. Still love you. How do I get rid of that squared?
Square root. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see if anybody knows what we got to remember. When I do the square root, what do I got to add?
Plus or minus.
Good job. I would 100% remember plus or minus. Plus or minus. Okay. Can I factor 7? No. Is there anything I can do to simplify that?
No.
There's nothing. Let's give you a harder one. Okay, even though this has more numbers, do you see two groups of letters? You only have one group and it has a square. That is like ding, 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 money. Just use your square root. I want to get that v squared alone. How can I do that? Covarian, 79 plus 2. Pardon? Yep. Marvin, what do I do? What's my next step to get that v squared alone? By?
No.
Yeah. I always divide by whatever's with the variable. Caesar, 81 divided by 9? Moses, how do I get rid of that square? Mm-hmm. Manny, what do I gotta remember? Thank you. Diego, can you break down that 9 for me? What are some numbers that go into 9? 3 and 3. So I have a group of 2. 1 comes out and nothing's left over, so that's literally my answer. Positive and negative 3. Let's say you get to the test and you completely blank it. You cannot remember how to do this. You cannot remember the next step. It is multiple choice. Let's say that, let me pull up a question that I could ask you. I want the, yeah. Okay. What's up, sir? Okay, I don't want to change any of that. Okay, I'll take that. And let me make it multiple choice. No, just that one. Uh-huh. Like that? I want less ugly numbers. It's like, no, we refuse to give you reasonable. Okay, I'll take that. Okay, you guys, let's say that you have this. Let's say that you have this and you can't remember how to do it, but you have choices. You guys following me? How could I check and see which choice is going to work? How could I check? Just plug it in. I'm going to try 2. 4 times 2 squared equals 1. What's 2 squared? What's 4 times 4? Does 16 equal 1? Not true. Can't be that one. It's probably going to need to be a fraction then, right? Because we need it to get smaller and that made it bigger. Do you guys want to try a half or a fourth? I'm going to try a fourth and then we'll try a half if it doesn't work. What's 1/4 squared? Remember, it's like 1/4 times 1/4. You're going to multiply the top and multiply the bottom. What's 4 times 4? What's 4 times 4?
16.
Thank you. What's 4 divided by 16? It is not 4. What's bigger, top or bottom? So the bigger number when you divide has to still be on the bottom. You're right, there's going to be a 4, but that's going to be the bottom, and the top is a 1. Is 1/4 equal 1? Is 1/4 the same as 1? No, so it can't be that one. Let's try a half. What's a half times a half? What's 4 times a fourth? If you show me how you plugged it in and you got your answer, I would still give you most of the credit. I wouldn't give you full credit because the point is that if I gave you no choices, you'd know how to solve it. Real life is not always multiple choice. But we're in math class, not real life, so meh. Okay, I feel like you guys got that down. Are we ready to move on to factoring? Or do we need a couple more examples with square roots? We good? Okay, let's do a quick check-in on what we needed to cover. Have we gone over all of the graphing? We've covered the vertex, we've covered the table of values. Have we covered plotting points? You know how to put your points from the table on there? Have we covered that you need to remember to put arrows on it? Okay, have we talked about using square roots to solve? Do you know how to identify when to use it? Okay, are we ready to discuss factoring? Okay. I'm going to flip the page just because I don't have a lot of room here. Okay, so we're going to do factoring. If I gave you this, it's super important that that is 0. If it's not 0, you can't do anything. You got to get it to 0 first. So here's your steps again. So we're just putting these all in one place. Get it in standard form. Does anybody remember what standard form is? It is. Can we put it in a general standard form so that we know what to check? X squared. Good. Really good. Adonai, is that in standard form? Okay. Adonai, do you know the next step? What do we do next? Okay. Sam, do you know? Nope. We're factoring it. What do we do? What do we draw?
I'll draw the X.
What goes in the base? A times C goes down here. B goes up here. Every single time. You're going to add to this. You're going to multiply to this. Step 2 is always GCF. What does GCF mean? Good. Greatest common factor. So what are we going to do? What number goes down here? Give me the actual number. What number goes in the top? Richard, can you think of two numbers that multiply to 20? 4 and 5? Do you know what the sign needs to be? Which one? Both. Good answer. Two negatives multiply to a, and they're going to add together. Since they're the same sign, you're going the same direction the whole time. You're going 4 steps back, 5 more steps back, 9 steps back. Okay, so we tried to GCF. We couldn't GCF, so the next thing we did was, sorry, this is 3. Set up our X, where B's in the top, A times C's in the bottom. The fourth step is going to be to divide by A. And then the fifth step is to set your factors equal to 0. And step 6 is to solve. Those are your steps. Now let's actually do them. I'm going to pause because I know you guys are writing super fast, trying to keep up and process at the same time. That's a lot. Johnny, you want to set up my factors for me? Does the order matter? It does not. The order doesn't matter on multiplication, addition, subtraction. It does on division. Sorry. Okay. Alan, what do I do next? Now that I have my factors, how do I actually, what's my next step? We're on step 5. Nope, step 5. So you're just going to take this group and set it equal to 0, and this group and set it equal to 0. Now the reason we can't solve this unless this is 0, because 0 is the only number in the entire universe that we know one of these has to be 0, right? If this was a 1, then I could know that they both have to be 1s. No, actually, it could be 2 and 2.5. It could be like a whole bunch of different groups. But if this is 0, the only way to get 0 is for one of these numbers to be 0. That's why we have to have 0 to start or you can't do jack. Silas, take it home for us. What do we do? Nope. Yep, if I subtract 5, I've had negative 10 on this side. What do I do here? Anybody? That's very, very good. I'm gonna scroll up. This is example 2. Let's go down our checklist. Jonathan, is this in standard form? Does it look like this? Now, what's wrong? Want to phone a friend? What friend do you want to call on? Christian, help him out. What's wrong? We can't have that there. What does it need to be? Okay, Cervantes, help him. How do we make that 0? Exactly. Do I put the 2 with the 4, the 5, or the 2? The 2, because it's just a number. Terrell, you with us or you sleeping? Little of both? All right, we'll come back to you another time. Roland, what's 2 plus negative 2?
0.
Good. I'm not even going to write it down. This is a cool, like this, you guys see how there's no number at the end? See how the number crossed out? That should be like a red flag to you to do a GCF right here. What can we take out of both of them? What's in both of them? An X. If I take an X out, there used to be 2 X's there, right? The 4 is going to stay, but instead of X squared, what's my new power? Just a 1. Do I have to write the 1?
No.
Don't even have to write it. The 5's going to stay, and the X is outside. It's already factored. Now, if you really want to, you could think of it as a 0 there. But it's going to be really hard because then you're going to be like 4 times 0, 5, okay, 0, 5. Because those have to multiply to 0, add to 5. It's just a pain in the butt. You can, if you want. Totally fine. Now that I have my factors, what do? Every single time. As soon as you get your factors, set it equal to 0. X equals 0. Alan, help me out on this one. What do I do? Pardon? Yeah, I would. Victoria, what do I do next? By what? Raul, what's my answer? X equals 0 and? Good. Again, you could just take the answer choices and plug them into this equation and see if it works. You will not get full credit, but you would pass. I think we need to do one more of these where you have a number at the beginning, and then I think we need to move on to quadratic formula. How do we feel about quadratic? Is it still pretty scary? Or is it just we don't like it? It's not scary, we just don't want to do that many steps. Oh, you can't even see what I'm writing. I'm sorry. Okay, this is your last one for factoring. Hiram, is it in standard form? What do we need to move?
4.
Add, subtract, multiply, or divide?
Subtract.
Good. Miss Haley, what's 13 take away 4?
9.
Good. Kavarian, what do we do now? Draw the fat X. Yeah, what goes in the bottom? Do you know? Kavarian, I can't tell if you're talking or not. You don't know? Okay. Marvin, can you help him out? What goes in the bottom? Caesar, can you help him out?
2 times 9.
The front number multiplied to the end number. Moses, can you tell me what goes in the top? What number goes in the top? Pardon? Yeah, it's always the middle number. Manny, find me my factors. Manny, what's 2 times 9? Give me some numbers that multiply to 18. Pardon? 2 times 9. Is there any way for 2 and 9 to add or subtract to 9? No, so we gotta try something else. Give me some other numbers. Manny? Do you want me to give you a hint? Okay, one of them is gonna be a 3. Yeah. Moses, can you help him out on the signs? Do those need to be positive, negative, 1 positive, 1 negative? What do they need to be? Which one's going to be negative? The what? The 3 could be negative, yeah. Does that add to negative 9 now? That's 6 take away 3, right? You following me, Moses? So what do we need to do with the 6 as well? It needs to be negative 2, hun. I see you trying. See how those are both negative? You're going the same direction, so they'll add. They're both negative, so when you multiply, it'll come out as a positive. All right, Diego, can you help us out? What do we do now? Mm-hmm. So what goes inside? What else goes inside with the negative 3? Good. Adonai, what do we got to remember? What's our next step here? Step 4. Yeah, we multiplied by that 2. So we've got to reduce by that 2. Sam, what do I do with this one? Tell me what to do. Yep. What do I do? No, babe. What's the next step? Yeah, but tell me what to write down. Richard, do you know how to help him out? Other Richard. You do. Why do we put the 2 in front of the n? Basically, if it doesn't come out nice, you put it in front. Sam handled this one for us?
Yeah, you can see it right now, actually. It's not better, so, we'll do 4.
Pardon?
3.
Thank you. Johnny, help us out. What's our next step?
Equal to 0.
Alan, knock this one out for us. Okay, what else? Pardon? Oh, we're still on this one. We haven't finished this one. Good. Silas, knock it out for us.
You add 3.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do 2.
Do we need to practice that more, or are we feeling like we can move on to the last thing? Do we feel like we know when to GCF? Do you feel like you know how to do this X factoring method? Are we okay with when we divide and how we put it in front if it doesn't go in nice? Okay. I only put 2 questions on your test that have to use quadratic formula. Everything else you can factor or GCF it or use a square root. But we do need to go over the quadratic formula. Yep. If you're not ready, that's okay. I'm not going to make you take it tomorrow if you don't want to. I'll have you put your name on a test and give it back to me. But I just want to make sure that you have the... I do better on tests on paper, so I really wanted to give you guys a paper version. Okay, let's go quadratic formula. You ready? I'm going to draw a line, and I'm going to say quadratic formula. Okay, take at least a 10-second stretch break. Move for 10 seconds. Do something. You guys are... I can't sit like this for this long. It's too long. Okay. First of all, when do we use it? When factoring doesn't work. So for example, if I gave you this equation, is it in standard form? Anybody? No. Moses, are you okay? Moses, if you need a break, it's okay to get up, move around, walk around, go get a drink, something. That's okay. What do I need to do to get this in standard form? Yeah, subtract 1 from both sides. Okay. Now let's try to factor it so you can see what it would look like when it doesn't work. Remember, we're going to take that 7 to that -1, and that's in the base. The middle number, or our b, always goes in the top. What are 2 numbers that multiply to 7?
1.
It's prime. That's the only options. What's the biggest number those could add to? 7 plus 1 is?
8.
What's the smallest number it could add to?
6.
6 if we subtract, right? Or -6, yeah. There's no way we're going to get 11. See how that's not possible? So if it's not possible, our only option is the opposite of B.
I'm going to do math.
Yeah, and is he okay? Is it allergies or allergies killing everybody, huh? All right, key things here. Anytime you're plugging in for a letter, so anytime you're plugging in for B, think of it in parentheses. Think of these as parentheses. So I'm going to think of this as the opposite parentheses, plus or minus 100% before every single time I've used this. If I put the parentheses there, I get it right. If I forget to put the parentheses there, I mess it up. What's my A equal? A equals what? What's B? What's C? Let's plug it in. Cavarian. Is it Cavarian or Cavarian? Cavar. Right? Okay, Cavarian. Cavarian, help me out. What am I going to put here? What number? And B is? Yeah. What goes here? Pardon? B is -11. Manny, what goes here? What's my A? Pardon? Yeah, just 7. Adonai, what goes here?
-1.
Good. Jonathan, what goes in the base? What's my A? Jonathan, you see what I'm talking about? Jonathan, do you even know I'm talking to you? Jonathan, what goes in the bottom? What's our A? Seven. Jonathan, do you need to sit closer so you can see? Nah, you're straight. You just don't want to move closer, RC. Okay. All right. Hiram, negative times the negative is a? Good. All right, who can tell me what -11 squared is? Please don't say 22. 121, is it positive or negative? It's positive. A square is always positive. Who can tell me what 4 times 7 times -1 is? What's a negative times a negative? It's going to be plus 28. What's 2 times 7? Good. I've got 11 plus or minus. What's 121 plus 28? What's 8 plus 1? What's 2 plus 2? Does 149 break down nicely? Grab your calculator, do menu 2-3. I have a calculator somewhere, at least I used to. So if you go to menu 2-3 and put in 149, you're going to see that it's prime. See how, oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Is there a angle? There is no good angle. Can I turn down the brightness? Can you guys see how there's nothing else that goes into it? You can't do jack. Leave it alone. Menu 2-3. So that's a good trick right here. Menu 2-3 is going to help you out. Let's do one that does simplify so you can see that. I might run out of space. I think I can make it happen. I don't know. Caesar, if you need to change seats so you can see for notes, it's not a big deal. You're like, I'm happy. I'm going to be writing kind of compact because that's literally all the paper I have. Is this in standard form? No. You did. What's my A, B, and C? What's A? Someone besides Caesar. Does anybody else know how to find A, B, and C? I'm kind of concerned. Good. Okay, Roland's a good. Raul, you got it? Okay, now what do we do, y'all? Same formula. We're just going to plug in. Opposite parentheses plus or minus square root. Miss Haley, what goes here? What's my B?
-2.
Marvin, what goes here? Yep. Moses, what goes here? Good. Manny, what goes here? Good. Diego? Good. Adonai, negative times -2 is?
2.
Sam, -2 squared is? Good. Richard, -4 times 9 times -6? You know it's positive, that's good. Good. 216. Johnny, 2 times 9? Alan, 4 plus 216? Okay. Silas, we're going to break down this 220, okay? Okay, help me break it down. Give me any two numbers that multiply to 220.
110 times
110 times what?
110 times
You could. Can I just do 10 and 22?
2.
I was like, dang, okay. Cervantes, give me two numbers that multiply to 10.
2, 5.
Christian, break down 22 for me.
2.
Victoria, what numbers in common?
2.
I can have the 2s. That means 1 can come out. Raul, what's stuck on the inside? What's still stuck on the inside? We used the 2 on the outside. What have we not used? And the, what's 5 times 11? Good. So I'm going to take this and replace that right here. Raul. No, Roland. Roland, right? Roland? What can I take out of both of these on the top?
2.
Yeah. I'm going to think of this as 2 times 1. Miss Haley, what can I do with that 2 and that 18?
Reduce it.
Reduce it. What does the 18 become?
9.
Good. And I don't have any room to rewrite it, but that's your answer. 1 plus or minus the square root of 55 over 9. Let's go over how this would be graded so that you know what you're doing. You're going to get a point for putting it in standard form. You're going to get a point for showing me that you can find A, B, and C. You're going to get a point for showing me you can plug in the numbers at the right place. And then there's going to be, like, depending on how many steps there are, 3 to 5 points on all the simplification and getting the right form. Make sense? That is everything. We just did 7 weeks of content in an hour. Did your brain hurt? Okay, your job right now, we still have about 20 minutes of class. Your job is to finish this. You can work with a partner, you can work with a friend, whatever. You're gonna finish this and have it ready to turn in tomorrow. Okay, you need me to, this is fine? Okay, let me just stop recording so that the online students don't have a 50-hour video.